Hey guys, we'll get started in just a few minutes. Dev, why don't you try talking so we can see if they can hear you?
As usual, I am very tired, but that's because I had a good day and I went to the zoo.
Dev has to be Dev and AR today. AR is fighting back the hordes of stupid people.
Just like I was yesterday.
Yeah, let's
My
see.
god.
Let's give someone a minute just to confirm they can indeed hear you, even though I actually see the bars. Might as well make sure.
Speaking of bars, I went to a very fun panel at Too Many Games where they did a bunch of examples of like audio for podcasts. It's like, wow, that is interesting back end stuff.
Yeah, that's all stuff that I do on the back end while we're running, which makes it a very interesting thing to do, to be hosting it and to basically be running all the controls. Since
It
we're
was very interesting to watch.
yeah, let's see here. Okay, you ready to go? Because they can definitely hear you.
Huzzah.
Welcome to the With the Will podcast. We're here to entertain and inform a bit while talking about Digimon. I'm Mark, running with the Will.
I'm DevQ. I mostly run Wikimon, and we've been completely forsaken by AR.
AR has some important stuff to take care of. It wouldn't be shocking if he pops up as we get later into the show, but we're not expecting it. Dev, how has your long week been?
I have been gimping around on ankle braces, but thankfully they are very, very helpful, so I can probably go back to work and die soon.
How nice. Uh, it, it,
Fantastic.
it it's been a strange week because for the first time in a while, we actually don't have like a wave of news, but we do have interesting stuff to go over and some questions that I decided to go more detailed on, and I have separate notes for the question to go over some stuff.
So different from the notes that are at the
Yes,
bottom of our general notes page.
yes, because I figured this is the type of thing where it will be fun for you to discover what some of these details are, since some of this stuff is kind of generically assumed by fans over the last X number of years, and it may be a bit fun for you to discover what some of this stuff actually is.
Oh no.
Yeah, that means it's definitely going to be fun. And
Oh no.
it also means that 15 minutes ago I was going, I should probably do some notes for this one, and then threw it in a notepad file. So, hey,
This is
new
going
up.
to make my brain hurt, isn't it?
The Mystery of the Museum aired. How are you feeling
You
about
know what? I
Ghost?
love this episode.
So, I loved it too. I worry that it's sort of what AR said last time is we could all sort of feel where cracks might show up, and we're starting to get them now, but we're not far enough in to know if they're actually cracks or just, hey, it's episode 2.
It's really hard to say.
Yeah, there's definitely some oddities showing up here, which we'll get into. But I guess the first thing is hey, we actually, I'm very happy that it's episode 2 and they've already dealt with. So, can people see Gamamon or not? And how are they going to deal with that? People can see him. They just assume that he's a hologram, which is,
It's like, wow, that's a really fancy hologram.
yeah, it's both a very funny and very lazy way to not deal with it, and I kind of love it.
I mean, it works in the setting. It works just fine.
Oh, no, absolutely. It's also a great way to just be done with it and not like have to deal with, every other shot having Gamamon be behind something. He's just sort of there in the bag, and if he interacts with people, it's fine. And,
Yeah, it's not like because they already went through this with pretty much every other series that had Digimon running around in the
yeah.
real world. They've either been like jammed in someone's bag or wearing a really
Well,
comically crappy disguise.
to be fair, they did go with the jammed in the bag. It's just a bit more amusing this time because he's almost happy to be there rather than being jammed in.
He likes being up high.
Yeah.
He's like a cat.
And they're definitely going to keep doing that chomping gag, aren't they?
You know what? I'm never going to get sick of that. It is adorable and precious, and
I'm not sick of it yet. I can imagine getting sick of it if if
uh,
they if they just keep doing it very dryly is my concern.
I have cats, so I'm well aware that biting is a love language.
To be fair, Dev, you scream on a normal basis about bleeding to death. But hey, ignoring your cat's
Usually it's
wings.
Well, usually it's the claws that are causing me to bleed and not the teeth, surprisingly enough.
How are you feeling about him using his wings lazily?
That is fantastic. It's like, "Hey, Galamon, can you get out of this room?" He's like,
Eh,
"Yes." He's like,
it just
"Oh
floats over.
no."
Yeah, that was good. And I have to try mentally decide if I'm going to call her Ruri or just go with Ruli. I'm thinking Ruli just because easier to deal with at this point because that's one battle that we're never winning. It's done realistically. Um, her shtick worked a lot better this time now that we got to see a little bit more of her, especially when she started like yelling. Was she yelling or poking at the mummies? I don't remember. I just remember being amused by her, like wanting them to move.
I think it was both, just like slapping on the cage.
Okay, yeah, that's what it was. But yeah, and more than even last time, I'm really convinced she's based off the series Hyoka, because really reminds me of the main character from that show. That's one of those that at some point I'm gonna harass you into watching it, so you can tell me if you think I'm right or wrong there.
I
And,
mean, I definitely need stuff to watch because honestly, aside from Digimon right now,
yeah,
almost all the other series I was actively watching are
are done.
either done for the year or their second core starts in January, and I tried picking up some other stuff, but it's like, wow, this is terrible.
Yeah, Hyoka's one I have to get you watching at least a few episodes sooner rather than later, just so you can confirm or disagree on that one. Um, so like I said, they deal with Gamamon being able to eat, and poor guy missed his steak sample.
It was absolutely a travesty.
I know. And then when he was sitting there and they drew him on all four like a puppy, my mind just instantly went, wow, I was almost joking when I said he's clearly based on Zeromaru, and now I'm 100% not joking when I say that. Because,
No, not at all.
no.
That and like some of the expressions and just kind of like the little arms out to the side pose. It
He's,
it
yeah,
really is. It's Zeromaru.
yeah. Which it was an
Then Yabano posted even more art. It's like, yep,
yeah,
it's Tiny Zero.
yeah. And then we get, what do you think of the dictionary thing?
Uh, I could see it being cute for like a little reference because, sometimes little kids just make up words for things. So
Yeah.
it's kind of going along with, oh, Gamamon is now your little brother. It's kind of like a little more literal in that sense with, the behaviors of small, annoying children.
Yeah, I'm mostly just trying to decide, do I think there'll be some relevance to it? Do I think they'll drop it entirely, or do I think it's going to become shtick very quickly?
I feel like it's gonna be like a Takatomon thing where he does it like once or twice and no one will ever let it drop.
That's true. How are you feeling about that Agumon cameo?
That was fantastic, and I am very delighted that was there.
As was the Chumon cameo.
He was
Th-
just
That
basically
was,
being more of a squirrel than a rat.
I know it was just, it was funny, it was amusing, and it's nice to have something pop up that we 100% did not know was going to happen. So it was like, oh shit, it's Chumon. That's a neat little thing.
Yeah, then I like the kind of like there's just like Digimon wandering around, not like oh every single one that shows up is going to be an asshole.
Yeah.
Which is why
Eh,
I can understand Hero going, oh, there's a mummy thing running around. Maybe I should ask them where my dad is, because that actually makes sense
yeah.
for his
And
motivations anyway.
and then hey, Mummymon's wrapping up and kidnapping people and hiding out in, it was like a, it was a basement, right?
Yeah,
Or
it's
was
like
it,
either like a basement or a subway, like an
okay,
abandoned.
I thought it was like a basement warehouse in the museum. I just wasn't sure if it was a basement or not. It was definitely some sort of, well, it's definitely a basement because they walked down, didn't they?
Yeah, the thing is, like, I'm not like he was entering it from outside before, so I'm not sure if it was like
Ah, I
directly
get what you mean.
under the
Yeah.
museum or it might be like kind of like a park. It actually made me think of like more like a parking garage kind of thing.
I think the only thing reasonable is to claim it's a museum annex.
Good enough.
Yeah. Um, and
Like
then,
Mummymon
yeah.
malpractice.
So I'm trying to decide if I think it's banding or a fog effect. The some of the effects they're using don't seem to benefit the video stream that well. And at times
It
I'm
just
not
kind of looked like someone put VHS filters over it, and it's just like,
yeah.
okay.
And Mummy Mon carrying off people worked as a good visual. Um, museum exhibition looked really nice. People were putting up photos of the actual museum they based it on, and of course big di- the big T-Rex one shows up, and Gamelmon's like, I think I know that guy. And then the
You're
part,
being a little vague because there's a lot that could
yeah,
kind of fit the description of.
and then the thing everyone loved, Mummy Gamamon.
I know it was adorable.
And then we got
Thing
an
is, I'm
odd.
not sure if Hero did that on purpose or if Gamamon just decided to like roll around in toilet
So
paper.
it's weird. In my head, I don't actually remember what the setup for that scene was.
Because I know they were just like hiding in the bathroom, and then it kind of cut to them, and
Yeah.
Gamamon was just covered in
Okay, so
toilet paper.
you don't remember the setup for that either then.
No, it just kind of like cut
Okay,
to
that's what I
them.
thought. And then hey, they sort of jump back to Kazuna. Some Digimon can just randomly unlock locks because they're digital. That hey.
I
Um
mean, convenient,
oh no,
especially if
absolutely.
you don't have a manual lockpick.
Yeah.
Oh, actually,
Uh,
now both the Gamamon and Hero pick locks.
oh wow, that is weird. I didn't even think about that. They did lock picking in the first episode also, huh? And
Yep,
then
analog and digital.
very nice of Mummymon to answer questions as the fight, and being like very polite, and of course that alluding later to, oh, he's not a villain. He's just
No,
very,
he's just.
very confused.
It's like don't believe everything you see on YouTube.
Um, then the twist being that he's trying to help people and he just doesn't understand modern medicine.
I like how Hero just said like, "Hey, why don't you just like go over to the local hospital and watch there?"
Yeah, and he did.
I
The
wonder if he's
fight,
gonna show back up later.
it feels like he should, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's like in their time of need, he shows up like, "Here's a band-aid."
Well, especially since you would expect we probably won't see too many perfects super early, and that's an easy way to introduce someone who can help if need be. Doesn't mean they're going to, but I think that'd be a good way to deal with it,
It
at
might
least
be
for
kind of
me.
like a I know a guy.
Yeah, and then Gamamon's deep love of food allows him to evolve, and I'm did the evolution scene feel like it very much feels like they did an evolution scene and then they cut it down because they didn't have the time to show it.
Yeah, it kind of felt like it swapped in really quickly.
Yeah. And the new insert song First Rider, I think I like it. It not enough of it was used for me to be
It's
sure.
hard for me to tell just
It
because, like, even though I watched the sequence like 2 or 3 times, I can't really remember the song.
yeah, I think that's one that we're gonna have. One thing Adventure did very well was stick in the evolution songs enough that you could get a good feeling for it. And like in my head, I kind of don't even remember First Rider at the moment. Like I need to hear more of it. I need it there longer. Eventually, we'll get a full
A full
version of it.
version.
So that's one that I remember it fit the scene. I just didn't get enough of it to like really feel about the song much. It had a change partway through, which worked. And then the energy was kind of gone because they kind of dealt with the conversation of, "Hey, Mommy Mon, you don't know what the fuck you're doing. Go deal with that."
Wah wah wah.
And I will say, I really hope we do not get caught in that loop because I've seen it happen with other shows where and then next week the enemy Digimon will also escape or otherwise wander off,
I want
which
murder.
we all do. And the nice little tease at the end with Angoramon walking there, and hey, we finally know how his ears work. I've seen many
Like
people
a
theorize this.
helicopter.
Yeah, it felt like that was what they were going to go with, just so they didn't copy Terriermon with the glider. But hey, so we got the full Miles, Tails, Prowler, Spinny. Although
Yep.
his actually, yeah, so it works better with the ears though visually, I think, especially with him being big. And then no show next, no show, well later this week. At this point, it'll off for the week.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and that episode will be called Scribbles. I
I'm
can
wondering if it will be a Kakimon.
see. I guess because of the name and getting some of that scribble graffiti visual, it's something like writing will be appearing, like menacingly on stuff, like a red rum situation.
Yeah, that was the first thing that came to mind.
Yeah, it feels like that's what we're gonna get, or quite possibly more the one from Futurama, which is done comedically. So the show will
I
be
can't
back.
remember. I'm pretty positive I saw that episode, but it's just like it's been so long at
Yeah,
this point it kind of like blurs together.
yeah. So off this week, we'll be back next. We 100% knew about that. I've seen a few people comment on, "Oh no, is there an issue with the show that they?"
Like no, it was literally on the calendar
Yeah,
that it was.
a yeah. So we
Although I
100%
forget
knew.
what's airing in its place.
I didn't care enough to look. I assume. Well,
Same.
it's the conversation we had last time, where some sort of sporting event or community thing is no doubt airing, and then it'll be back after. Um, so then the interesting thing with First Rider though is we got details for quick. Cher Watanabe's back.
I love her compositions.
His. He is a
Ah,
very old man with a hat.
is it a really ugly head?
As I recall, yes. But let me go ahead and pull up his Twitter to confirm.
How ugly is this head? I'm just
Oh,
imagining
oh,
Cousin
it's a.
It.
I forgot. He switched to art of his hat. I will send you the image so you can see. It's a drawing of him at a keyboard with like an ugly hat, and I think that's the Fuji TV logo, isn't it? Or one of those
I'm
TV network logos.
trying to blow it up because it's like
It looks like a fishing hat. So
it looks like
he,
it has like a little blow up dog on it.
well, I think that's like the Fuji TV logo or one of those Japanese TV logos. I just don't remember which one.
Maybe Asahi.
Yeah, so he's done. arrangements and compositions basically going back to the beginning of Adventure. He did the arrangement for the original version of Adventure. He composed and arranged Evo with the Will. Um, Personal favorite of mine was he did both of those for Mimi's O2 song Supergirl. Um, Shoko Omori came back to write the lyrics, which she even Watanabe pointed out she did those for Evo with the Will and a bunch of other songs. Um, Singers new to us, Yoshimasa Masakura. He posted on
The
Twitter.
name isn't familiar,
It's
so I
it's
don't
not
know.
to the point that I believe I even had Onke and a few other people double check the name that I hadn't like completely massacred. It's like no, the person is not showing up much. They've done some games and some other stuff. They tweeted they're very excited because they watched Digimon in elementary school.
Aw,
And
another group of musicians that are happy to be on Digimon.
and he also pointed out that he would often try to train a Greymon on a VPET, and he would always fail and get Numamon. So
I
yeah,
mean, same,
yeah,
but
that's
those
pretty
things are,
common.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's like we try, we fail, it dies.
yeah. So we'll get details for that soon, theoretically. Um, yeah, it's. I want to like the song. I just don't think we got enough of it to fair, at least for me to fairly judge it.
Although I wonder if, like, how many months until we get like a full version of it? Because some of the songs were like,
Um,
oh, by the way, next week we're doing, it, and then otherwise it's
so
just like, okay, it'll be eventually.
unless they just chuck it at us, I'm going to guess somewhere between mid-November and the end of December because late October is the physical single for the opening, and then a week or two later in early November, I believe, is digital single for the ending. So I would guess they're going to give that a bit of a birth, and then they'll move on. And it could also be a case of what they did with I don't remember what the first insert song for Adventure was now.
Uh, um,
Be the
Not
Winners?
extreme fight. Be the winners. Be the winners. Yes.
Yeah, where they waited until they had built up a few different songs, and also at the time he wasn't able to finish the full ones because of COVID. So I would assume
Yeah.
I assume we'll at least get a digital single before too long, but I'm gonna say unless they spring it on us mid-November.
I like that we've been getting like the digital singles and like actually available outside of Japan.
Yeah,
So
that's the neat thing. Most of the ones for Adventure, either they would show up on various music services, or at the very least, Oda Toy would have them, and they would not be geolocked. Oda Toy's music store in Japan, a lot of lossless music, but a good number of the Adventure insert songs have been easily gettable from there for just a few dollars. So it's been very nice to grab them at release time, in fact. So hopefully
yeah,
that
might have to like
continues.
import a CD and
Oh, I do
rip
that
it just so you
anyways.
can listen
I
to
do
it.
that anyways.
Well, yes,
Um,
because
yeah.
you archive things for the website.
I need
I
to.
just did it if it's pretty.
I believe I've done almost none of that this year, just due to being a combination of being busy, and then when I'm not busy, it's like, oh fuck, I don't want to do anything. I'm gonna sit here and do nothing, which need to do many discs to do. And then hey,
Just
we have
sit there and disassociate.
yeah, that's exactly what I've been doing. And then we have two anniversaries. The first was the 21st anniversary of the theatrical release of Digimon the movie. Beautiful
The only
poster,
thing that's
isn't
coming to
it?
my mind is the animate Angela Anaconda short.
Beautiful poster, isn't it?
It's fucking horrible.
No, you know what the poster needs really? You need to have angry Kirby there. You can put him right
You're
in
right.
between. You can put him right in between the two Terriermons, just like Photoshop in one of those random angry box art Kirby's.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It would fit in just flawlessly. No one would notice the difference.
That's one of those things where don't you kind of wish you do that and then just see how far it gets? Um,
Right now, what comes to mind is when they re-released Okami. the official release ended up
Oh,
ripping
the
a
IGN
watermarked image.
from IGN.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was good. Um, and then to celebrate the film, Jeff Nimoy started doing a narrated version of his blog going over the behind the scenes. A bit of Tentomon
Check
and
that
other
out.
stuff in there. Yeah, it's very nice. I believe the first part, which covered the first three written parts, is up, and we'll try to keep track of that to see what more shows up. But yeah, 20, very very long time ago. And then, because it was the same day, the first anniversary, technically, of Kizuna in the US. I say technically because it feels like everyone solidly agrees that the actual release date was like the home video release, even though the digital release was like a week or two earlier.
It's the thought that counts.
Yeah, that one has like three different asterisks because we were meant to get theatrical a few weeks after Japan. We probably would have gotten a disc by July. Cast members changed purely because of dealing with recording them. So
I remember those shenanigans.
yeah, and man, by the time we have that 1 year, we already know it's weird. I call it a sequel, but technically speaking, we don't technically know that O2 has a story relation to Kazuna, even though do you really see them doing anything else?
They were just kind of like, oh yeah, we know we kind of fucked it up in Try by not even mentioning these characters
They've mentioned them multiple
until the
times.
absolute last moment.
They were in the first shot of the movie.
No, they weren't. Ever.
They were in
They
the
for some
first. They were in like the first 2 minutes of the movie, Dev. You know that.
This is a lie. This is absolutely a lie.
The problem with that joke, Dev, is we both know there are people who say that, and they 100% don't recall that actually happening
Probably because they don't watch things obsessively, or they just
at all.
watch it once and then.
To be fair, it's very hard to miss that if you watch it. So it's weird because we very well the new movie's strange in that next week we could have news, or we may not have anything for months and months because they told us basically they were starting production basically right before they announced it. So we'll see what pops up.
Yeah, because all they had is literally just like a sketchy.
It was a single image
Oh,
and narration from Daisuke's actor, which probably was recorded when he recorded the image song.
you know what? That would make sense. It's like, while you're here, can you
Yeah,
just
it's like
rattle this off?
it's like you're gonna start a movie. We need this for the trailer. Do it. And then the thing that I'm pretty sure Dev has been waiting to talk about, the big Agumon train game plush.
I want to hug it. Its head is gigantic.
It's one of those plushies that really looks like if you like hug it, it will squish, doesn't it?
Yes. Yes. It looks like it was like full like the little foam beads.
Hmm. It feels softer to me looking at it. And they really do love the eyebrows on Agumon plushes, don't they?
Yeah, I don't really know why they make them so pronounced, but
So
I guess it's
I
just
think what's going on is a combination of three things. One, they want to have the eyebrows there and not just have it be like one or two stitches. Two, they don't want to make it an expensive focus point to make. So you end up with like a big bushy thing that they can sort of just make one piece and then put it there twice and have it visually show up in pictures. Is what I think is going on. Because they've done this on Agumon plushies before, where it's just like gigantic brows at the top of his head.
yeah, I don't really like them that much,
It
but
it, it is over 12 and a half inches tall.
okay, that's bigger than I was
Yeah.
assuming.
And it shows up at in Crane Games a week from today. It's exclusive to Sega.
They do this out of spite. I'm sad. Like the round one I'm near often gets like Japanese brain exclusives in there, but I doubt they'll bring in Digimon.
You'll find it someday, Dev. And then the
Probably at a convention.
yeah, I'm sure it will show up and you'll be able to get it, Dev. And then the October Bandai Premium Bandai USA Vital Brace and Dim card shipment has been delayed till November. I don't believe they officially said why. Minus they said shipping. I don't remember. They used a technical term, but it basically means hey, the ports in California are fucked up at the moment. So wait.
I was gonna say I'm pretty positive it's because the ports in California are
Yeah.
fucked up at the moment.
Oh no, I'm 100% sure that's why. To the point that um, one, enough people seem to be aware of this that even a good number of people weren't complaining. It was just like, oh, well, I'd hope to get it. I hope it'll show up soon. And then multiple people are like, I don't fucking think it's showing up in November. But yeah, realistically, the only big ticket item that's being delayed is what we think is the last shipment of the special version worldwide. So this,
The
so,
neon yellow one
yeah.
that looks ugly as
Oh
sin.
well,
Looks
here's
like
the thing.
Mountain Dew.
But here's the thing. It has the Vmon card.
Yeah, I know, but it's still ugly.
Oh,
They
don't
could have
worry,
made it like neon blue.
Dev, don't worry. I ordered one to test for everyone, and I'm going to do the same thing with it that I have with the other vital bracelets I've ordered.
Stick it on a shelf and let it collect dust.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I tend to use mine when I eventually get one.
I feel like I would use one if it was not quite so toyetic. Like this, like the screen apparently scratches at the drop of a hat. The moisture issues. It's where it goes back to what we're even saying, which is it's a fitness tracker, but it's more really a toy that acts like a fitness tracker.
Yeah, but I've used gotcha bracelets before, and
Yeah.
like having that at work for 5 minutes, that thing just looks like crap. I just got like a couple of things of Novus at the house. I'll just buff it eventually.
I will say this for a toy fitness bracelet, it actually looks pretty decent to be honest. But yeah,
It looks nice. It looks comfortable. I've heard nice things about it. It's fine.
I would say the most honest comment I could make about it, if you really want to use it on an ongoing basis, is if a dim card is coming out that you want, pre-order it from Amazon Japan or order it right as it's coming out, and because dealers on Amazon Japan have screen protectors.
Ooh.
And since one of the primary complaints that I've seen is the screen is one of those, I believe it's one of those slightly soft plastics where basically anything gets near it and all of a sudden you have a gash right there.
Yep, I know the exact substance you were speaking
Yeah,
of.
yeah, it's that where it looks like it's hard plastic, but it just like melts if anything touches it. So get a screen protector if
It's
you
like the
want it.
same texture as a sippy cup from the dollar store.
Uh, feels nicer than that, I would say.
Okay, from Five Below.
Although to be fair, I'm guesstimating based on what I've seen in photos from others. I could be completely wrong on that. But yeah. So then, Dev model kit. Dev buy.
I'm not getting this one.
So here's the weird thing, and was it last week when we talked about this? We don't know if this thing transforms or not. Like
I would
we
assume it would,
so
just
that
because.
so here's the thing. We all assume it would, myself included, because how much remolding are they going to do? But you'd think they would at least like go, oh, it transforms. They haven't. There's none of that in the marketing text or images at all. There's nothing about it.
Yeah, but it's like, why would they go out of their way to remold it so it doesn't transform? That's kind of the defeats the point of doing a
I
recolor because you don't have to pay for
yeah,
new
I
molds.
I guess the idea is it's just minus one or two toys. It's never been something associated with Paladin mode, so they're just not saying anything about it. Is the best that I can figure out. Is They're not going to stop it from doing so, but they don't consider it part of this. Is the best that I can
Yeah, and
figure.
like dragon mode looks a little derpy. I mean,
Yeah,
personally, I like it, but the head is kind of.
a lot of jerky for that head.
It looks like Liger Zero, honestly.
Oh no, I have that image in my head now, and that's absolutely right. The main difference here is the
Yeah,
wings, which that's some impressive wingspan.
I
Each
like it.
each wing has two pivot points, and each wing opens up to 7.5 inches. Uh, the sword looks nice, and about $58. And at some point, I have to check, what U.S. dealers have it up and what their prices were, because I don't know. It's one that I'm sitting here going, maybe.
Well, I like Paladin mode more than Fighter mode, but it's just like
Paladin
I
mode
already
looks
have other
nice.
model kits.
Paladin mode
Yeah.
looks super nice. Yeah, it's like a Big Bad Toy Store has it. It looks like it's from Japanese stock, and they have it for 67. So that's not bad, actually. But we'll see. I'm wafting. Uh, I believe the first shipment was sold out in 20 minutes.
Well, I'm not really that surprised.
No, Paladin mode's always been very popular, and honestly, the price isn't terrible. The fighter mode kit was 45, I think. It was somewhere around there.
45 or 55, I think.
Yeah, so you get the wings, you get the sword, you get a very nice paint job for another 10, $15. That's not terrible.
Yeah, I've seen enough model kits lately just because I've been getting a bunch of them from my one friend who orders a disgusting amount of them and even got a 3D printer to even
Oh,
print them. Yeah, he's gone
oh, they're
full
off.
throttle.
Oh yeah, they're off the deep end. That's not a bad thing to do with a 3D printer, to be fair.
Yeah, it also does engraving and laser etching, so but
Yeah,
yeah,
nice.
it's about right for a model kit of that size.
No, that makes sense. And then we have cards.
Which I do not give a single fuck about.
Oh no, there's some good stuff this time. So we have
More
the.
people arguing over CL.
We can talk about that in a minute. First, let's go over the stuff that is more boring. Previews for Starter Deck 9. I actually like the art a lot, but I think we have previews of most of these already. But Lucky
Yeah,
Magazine in
because
Hong
we were
Kong's always been
complaining
a good
about
source.
the split colors.
Yeah, but there's a few new ones. Then Fun Digica did their 101st episode, and I love what they did for the 101st episode to celebrate their past 100 episodes. Are you ready? It's fucking amazing. Godo P, the card game producers, there for a match against them, and they call it the Highlander Battle. Do you know why?
There can be only one.
Yes.
Does he cut someone's head off?
No, no, that's the deck theme. Your deck of 50 cards can't have any multiples. There can
Oh.
be only one of each card. So you have to make a deck with
Oh.
50 different cards. And they call it the Highlander deck.
That is hilarious.
Yeah, that's a great fun thing to do, especially since Highlander's reasonably popular in Japan. I want the anime to get a Blu-ray release at some point. Um,
Goddamn, I used to watch Highlander all the time as a small child, so I didn't even know that.
the TV show.
Yes.
The TV show was the best part, and then they did movies based on the TV show, and one of them's okay, and one of them's so bad that if you watched it, you would think someone was stabbing you. They use a
Or cutting
cover.
my head off?
No, it's so bad I can't even make the joke. Cause so the TV show revolved around Duncan. You remember Duncan, right?
Yes.
So in the movie, partway through, they break Duncan's sword and he doesn't get a new one. They use Princes of the Universe, but it's a cover. They don't use the Queen one.
And that is a crime in and of
Yeah,
itself.
and then things just get worse from there. So yeah. Also for the card game, at NYCC, they did tutorial events at Toei's booth where people could get a 30 card demo deck, which that's not bad for like learning how to play. Then you get a 3/5 deck. I don't
Did we get a card list yet of what was in it?
know. I That's one of those things I was wondering is are they generic cards? Are they, when they say it's a demo deck, is it actual cards or is it um remember you because you got the promo
Oh yeah,
folder
where you
things.
basically like fold along the thing and
Yeah,
tear it.
yeah, where it was actual demo cards. Like I would hope they're real cards, but we
Yeah,
don't know.
especially because like at like a full blown event.
And then the thing you desperately want to talk about, Dev, they let us know how Sistermon, Noir, and Sail will work. Basically, no matter what region you're in, both card, at least for the ones that are out so far, the rules may change in the future. Anything Noir counts as the equivalent CL card. Anything CL counts as the equivalent Noir card. So
Oh, so
effectively,
you can't double up.
you're effectively supposed to treat it as if both. So if a card rule mentions Sistermon Noir, it means it also counts for CL. If it says CL, it also means Noir. Um, you count the cards as both data and virus. So
Hmm.
basically that's them getting ahead of that there's going to be international tournaments, basically. So basically, and they even show just the bottom text portion of a Japanese Sistermon CL listing and a Japanese Sistermon Noir listing, or an English Sistermon Noir listing for the Awakened card because that one has extra card text. Basically, you treat it as if it has both. So basically, consider
Oh,
them
okay.
two in ones.
It works.
Yeah.
Then again, I
And
don't really see tournaments being that big of a thing, considering how scarce the product is, at least over here.
see, here's the thing: it doesn't. The scarcity feels like it's more that people are just buying up everything they can when it shows up, because people are definitely getting them. It's just a
Yeah,
matter
I think there's
of
like a lot
using
of
them.
places I don't even see a spot for it on the shelf anymore.
Hmm. Well, we'll see. As far as I can tell, it was doing well. I need to double check. I think it was IVC2, the comic card news site. I believe from polling store owners, I think they estimated, they went through like card games that and where they believe they're ranking. I think Digimon card game is ranking like third or fourth for money making for stores.
Oh, nice.
So we'll see. In short, we don't expect to go much of anywhere soon, but so the Seal Awaken card is part of BT7, and that's a unique card for us because it is actually the first time we're actually seeing Seal Awakened. Because the one in Hacker's Memory is officially just a recolor of Noir with some slight tweaks. It's not the actual design. So this is the
It's
first
just
time.
okay. Here's some ears.
Yeah, so this is the first time we're actually seeing like the official Seal Awakened.
Kind of like the scar over the eye.
I can't mentally get over that the position they've drawn her in, and it kind of happened on her original card also, where if you squint, so the like it's a bit darker, it's just a Mickey Mouse silhouette for the head. Because like if you look at the parallel card, they have her head like to the side, but her original card and her first awakening card, they have the ears like pointed exactly forward. So
It also looks like an angry Meryl.
MICKEYMOUSC. So we'll get plenty of that. And hey, we know ahead of time. So then it means when they do card previews and we see this one, people will definitely still bitch.
That's amazing how angry everyone gets.
Yep. More so since I saw people going, they're going to censor Noir. How dare they? And it's like, this is not news at this point that they're doing this. It's not. And then the most important card game thing, Card Battle 48, they begun another tournament, which is what Card Battle began as. And then partway through, we got another special guest. It's Mechanori Mon. and he pops open to reveal Andromon. Can I just
Oh,
say,
he evolved.
can I just say, I think he's piloting him because that's Mechanorimon's thing, isn't it?
Yeah, that and Gardramon
Yeah.
kind of
But
sometimes.
I love every time they do this because it is both cheap, like cheap themed cosplay, but it's done really well and amusingly.
They put their heart and soul into it,
And
and I'm
crayons
pretty positive that's a frisbee on top of uh his head.
on top of his head.
The lid of the cardboard
See,
box. I think they used like a frisbee.
I don't think that's a frisbee because I think it's too tall. I think that may be a frisbee on the front, the red light button thing. But like the blue thing on top, I think that's too tall. I think that's like a small bowl or something. 'Cause I think
Oh,
that's too tall
maybe.
for a frisbee. I think the red thing on the front is a frisbee. And that may win for dumbest conversation we've had is arguing if that thing's a frisbee or not.
It's like either way, it probably came from a Daiso.
And then we get more photos of that Ghost Game display at Fujitown. They're really like enjoying showing that thing off. We're getting like 4 or 5 photos every week. Um, then we got the box art for the War Greymon model kit. That is really nice box art, especially considering this is not an expensive kit. Like if it had just been
I
like a,
know. I would love that as just like a poster.
but that's what's weird. Like they had that nice render in that marketing image. I thought that was going to be the box art.
Honestly, so did I, because they kind of usually go with like.
Yeah, like that they're doing actual art. Like because the War Greymon one's basically $20. Like that is
I
not
am
an
definitely picking it up.
yeah, it looks nice. We've seen photos on Twitter of people putting it together. It looks very nice. People have been customizing it as you would expect. The most popular customizations so far are Black War Greymon and doing a merciful mode of War Greymon, which I believe was popular with the Amplified kit also.
I definitely remember seeing that with the amplified.
Yeah. Oh, the merciful mode ones showed up a lot with him and Metal Gurumon.
I think I saw someone also do like a Digimon World 2 Chaos Greymon collar of one of the
Yes.
amplified kits a while back.
Yeah. The other amplified one that I've seen a lot is people doing really complicated wings for Dukemon. I've seen a number of
Ooh.
people doing that. But yeah, this one's out. It looks really nice. I think the what we call it the import version for outside Japan. I think that's is that December or is it November? It's not quite out yet, but about the same price. I like this one. I It's one of those things where the only reason I haven't ordered it is I know I won't have time to like patiently sit there, and I don't have the table set up that makes doing these nice or enjoyable.
Honestly, I just did it on like a foot and a half of my desk while a cat climbed all over me. So it's
I should, but
yeah.
I'll probably get it. It'll probably go in a box for someday to be revealed. And then, hey, look, the chocolates are back. They're giving them away.
Nom, 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 nom.
And they drew Gamamon eating chocolate, as you would expect. He looks very happy. None of us are winning this contest, so I think we can skip that. It's one of those things where the contest showed up like 3, 4, 5 days earlier, but it hadn't started yet. And I'm like, oh, it's starting that Saturday. I can just throw it in the Saturday multiple thing post. Perfect timing.
Yep.
And then we have a few different reference book updates. First up, we have Gamamon's Evolutions. Dev, between Bettel, Taos, and Wazen, which do you prefer of these three? Now that we've seen, better, the art's a bit cleaner, a bit crisper. What do you think?
Definitely wasn't just because I love his tiny little legs.
No,
He
I,
makes
I
me think of like a little wind up Triceratops toy where it's just like it does like little zip 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 back and forth.
I've seen multiple people do this where they're like, oh, it's Flamedramon, XVmon, and Raydramon. And the funny part is it's not really that much of a joke. I'd say the
They
one that
know what sells.
exactly. Well, that's even what they told us with Pulsemon. We're like, where we even saw like the design sketches where they're like they have Raydramon, Lydramon right there, and they're like figuring out how to redesign the character to work. And then one that I assume will be super fun for you, Dev, when someone's gonna ask, and I'll go ahead and ask. So, Dev, now that the reference book can have multiple pieces of art, are you gonna have a little button for that on Wikimon? Since they've now
No, they're just
officially
gonna
declared.
have to scroll to the bottom of the fucking page.
So the reference book now has proper usage for alternate images, which does confuse a little bit the idea of going, the reference book uses the profile art since now there's multiple ones, and it gets further confusing in that things they clarify do not always clarify the way we expect them to be, which I actually kind of like, to be honest. I think the one that's confused the people the most is Splashmon, where
Yeah,
100.
because like in this series, it's definitely treated as like a different
Yeah,
mode,
and now
and then
there's one.
like
Now they're basically saying that the mode term there is just to differentiate it. It is just the same Digimon looking different. I assume 100% you're keeping that darkness mode article. I think that makes sense, wouldn't you
absolutely,
say? Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that and because like it's treated as like a separate.
No, absolutely. That makes perfect sense. So we got alternate art of Abadomon Core, Splashmon as we mentioned, Dukemon. I think the first time I saw this art, was it on a card?
Absolutely.
Okay. Bancho Leomon. I know I've seen this art, but I don't remember where it's from, to be honest. I just
I
remember.
think it might have been one of like the VPET alternate arts, like where it was like on, like in the booklets itself.
Okay. Then for Yokomon, this is a repaint of my brain has frozen on the
Kiwimon,
name. Yeah. It's a repaint.
Kiwimon.
Yeah. And then Lopmon is a repaint of the Terriermon artwork, I believe.
Oh, that one's been around for like a
No, 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 no.
long, long
No, no,
time.
no. It has, but I mean, like, I believe that's a repaint of a piece of Terriermon card art where they flipped it, they changed the face, because that's not Terriermon's profile art. But you know,
Yeah, it was
yeah,
definitely the
it,
same base.
yeah, it's been around for 20 years at the very least. We know that.
Yeah, it's nice to
So
see like a better quality version of it.
so one thing I'm excited for is seeing what else will pop up because there's a lot of weird pieces of art that they could throw up there, like Vmon could be the one that AIM did.
Ooh.
You know what I'm talking about? The one on the card where it's like a really chibi Vmon.
Yes.
Now, I don't expect that to be one because I expect it's going to be more, profile style art, but I'm really curious to see what they'll go with. Um, and then, hey, show art, sort of. We didn't get any specific art for episode 2, but Kenji Watanabe on his Instagram posted the image of the Blacktailmon,
It's like
which,
I finally get the reference. Like, oh, it's from Yamato.
yeah, but more so that people just call Yamato Transport Kuroneko.
Yep,
Yeah.
because
And
that's its mascot.
yeah. And then the chief animation director, Nishino Ayana, posted really nice art of Hiro and Gamamon. Like, really nice. And just
It's a
saying,
lovely, soft little watercolor. It's adorable.
yes, it is. Gamamon looks so
Yamamon is
happy.
baby.
And realistically, is this 1 second before he bites his fucking leg?
Nom, 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 nom.
Exactly. But yeah, that Black Tailmon art image is amazing. I really hope that I did translate the second half of that Black Tailmon message correctly, because if not, I feel bad. Because they mentioned that the Black Tailmon's so busy that its eyes are getting worse. Please do your best, and it had very tired looking eyes there. And I'm not 100% sure if he was referring to the Black Tailmon or if he was saying his eyesight was getting worse. So
Honestly, at this point, it could be both.
it could be. So I don't that Black Tailmon art's amazing. It really fucking good. So happy
It's just
seeing
how
that.
I feel.
Very
Just how
tired.
I feel.
Yeah. And then
Immensely.
it
All
is
the time.
And then it is time for questions. So
Woohoo.
while you guys throw those up, we'll start with some of the ones that were sent in ahead of time. First one was, what Digimon series do you think has the worst music? I This is one that when I started thinking of it, my brain instantly went, I think me, Dev, and AR are gonna have the same answer. AR is not here, so I'm going to guess that he has the same answer, but he can correct us next time. I think it would be Atmon.
I don't know. I didn't watch enough of Atmon
So here's the
to
thing.
get a gauge on its music at all.
So
I
here's the
saw
thing.
like 5 episodes and my brain tapped out.
So here's the thing. It feels weird for me to say because I actually like the music in Atmon, but I think it's the weakest, especially when you get into stuff like, oh, there's no actual evolution song. It just uses an instrumental from the show, often with the air horns going off. And a lot of people didn't seem to like the end themes that much. I actually kind of did, just on account of them being a bit different. But I feel like Atmon probably had the weakest music overall, which the problem there is that doesn't mean it's bad. It just means Digimon's had really strong music in general. So you haven't seen Atmon, so I guess out of what you have seen, which do you think has the weakest music?
Mm, I want to say maybe Savers minus Hirari
So,
because I
so
that song
basic.
is amazing.
Okay, so basically what you're saying is you there's one song in the Savers that kind of puts off, like a proper ranking for you. It's just the song's so strong, it kind of knocks around what you would do.
Yeah, because otherwise they're not really that memorable. I mean, going my soul. It's probably the first time that Digimon as a series didn't have Watakoji doing the first opening. So I kind of think that, like, at the time, that kind of threw us all off. It's like, no, why would you do this? Who the hell are these people?
Yeah, but I'd say Savers isn't quite at the bottom for me, but it's kind of there. Like I get what you
It's
mean,
a
but
little
yeah,
lower.
it has some exceptionally strong songs. It's just overall, it's kind of there. Um,
Yes, Gamer's
yeah.
music is some of my favorite. Cross Wars is amazingly high up there.
This isn't even one where people can kick Hunters, because Hunters, even by itself, has great fucking music.
Yeah,
Like,
just the show itself just made me want to like put it through a window.
and then Jackie in the chat's asking, do we have any more detailed thoughts on Betel Gamamon's debut and his attack Sore Shot? I feel like we didn't really get much in the way of him to like really. We got a very quick evolution scene, and then we got kind of like a dash attack, and that was sort of it. Like, I feel like I need to see
Yeah, he
more before
went pew
judging
pew
him.
pew, and that was it.
Yeah, I need to see more of him before I can judge him, because if I'm gonna judge him based on what we've seen, it's oh,
He's fine. He's there.
you know what it is. Goku went Super Saiyan Red for 5 seconds, and then in a couple episodes he's gonna
Flame
go
Dramon did
green, then
fire
blue.
rocket, and that was it.
Yeah, basically, it's one of those things where I don't want to judge it at this point because it feels like we haven't really met the character, what the character will do visually. Even the evolution scene was only 5 or 6 seconds. It was very short.
Yeah, I think you were right earlier, where they just kind of like cut it down just to like cram it into the
Although to be
episode,
fair,
because it felt like the episode was pretty full.
they may not have cut it down. They may be trying to budget because they have to do more of those for him.
You know, that would make sense.
So, yeah, so we'll see. Then someone wants to know: have we considered featuring fan art on the Cider podcast? The short answer is yes. The long answer is no. The yes because of course, the no because
That's time consuming
time.
and a pain in the ass.
Yeah, it's very time consuming because okay, does that mean I would do something weekly? Does that mean it would go up with the Saturday post? Would that be monthly? Making sure to get people's permission for art. It, it, art skews far more personal than say see photos from a museum. It's one of those things where is someone going to want their art in what is basically a potpourri post, or they want The only time that I went to great lengths for the art would be when art has shown up from, when some of the show animators who aren't involved with the brand at large have put up stuff. I've made sure to message them and include it if possible. And messaging, I don't remember his name, the Atmon manga guy.
Yabano?
No, 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 no. The Atmon manga.
Oh, Appmon. Fuck.
Because on his personal gallery at why can I not remember any websites today? Pixiv.
Pixie?
Yeah, he was putting up a bunch of Digimon that he was doing as fan art, and even artwork of like the Atmon kids, because he drew the Atmon manga. So it was, sending him badly translated messages in Japanese to get his permission to feature stuff, archive it. He was very happy to have that done. So, we did that, but it's just too consuming to do on a normal basis, especially in the case of something like the podcast where you almost if we didn't include it weekly, it almost just wouldn't be worth doing, so we kind of don't.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the reasons I don't do like commissions anymore because it's very time consuming,
Yeah.
and we
And
all have day jobs.
yes. Um so it's one of those things where yeah, we've thought about it. It's just not it's one of those things where if I ever delegated more, then maybe, but for now the answer is no. Um Then someone wants to know, do we have any thoughts on the mommies of the world mistranslation? I feel like objectively, Dev, I feel like objectively you have to take that to Wikimon about if anything that says mummy should be changed to mommy. Because,
I mean, they probably would, for consistency reasons.
uh I mean here's the thing. I agree it's amusing. It's also something Digimon fandom's very good at running jokes into the ground, and I think that one's already there. I mean, even when
Thankfully, I don't have to listen to any of them.
even like when Onk posted, I believe my response was, she made some joke about mom. I don't really the exact joke, and my response was I posted a photo of the female Mummies Alive character, and her response back was just no, because she
Oh
got the
god
she.
damn it! Now that song's stuck in my head.
Oh, do you know how many people were like, "Is the podcast title this week gonna have to do with Mummies Alive?" And it's like, no, I have a theme for the podcast title for all of Ghost Game. I 100% know what the theme's gonna be, but I'm very tempted to break it just to do a Mummies Alive. And yeah, I 100% know you have that song stuck in it right now. I can hear it in the back of your mind. I can
In
I
the
can tell
disco bay, they're gonna save the world today.
the Mummies Alive. That was a good song.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, maybe it'll bump out. No, actually, no, no, it's already gone. I
poor
made the
Mummies.
mistake of marathoning all of Centaur World and have had the lullaby of the Nowhere King stuck in my head on
and then
repeat for 5 days.
And then we have the long one, which someone asked, can we explain what Saikyo Jump is? It's not talked
It's a
about much.
manga.
So I
That
actually I
name.
actually pulled up the proper information because right around when this question was sent, um, Kenzenshu put up Kenzenshu's never finished wiki. Kenzenshu's think of it as our Dragon Ball counterparts, which I used to host their forums and have helped them with various stuff and not been on the podcast for years now that I think about, but used to be on it a decent amount. Their wiki that they've been putting it together for like 12 or 13 years at this point. Like they're not doing it as like a fan done wiki. It's being done as proper cited information and everything. Like cartoonishly proper information. But every once in a while when they finish an article of note, they link it even though the rest of the wiki's locked. So Dev, I'm going to send you a link to their Saikyo Jump one so you can see how crazy this article is
Dun, dun,
before
dun,
we get
dun,
into
dun.
it.
Loading up,
Like
loading up.
like that is 100% a fucking article. So
Wow.
Saikyo, yeah. So Saikyo Jump is It is effectively a magazine that focuses on spin-off mangas and showing off stuff to kids, promotion, news coverage, that sort of thing. We actually have their demographic information from 2019 because Kenzenshu is that detailed at doing it. So they do over 100,000 copies for each issue. They've just, I mean, we talked about how they just have switched back to being a monthly. Their demographic information is 58.5% are of their readers are upper elementary school, 28% are lower middle school, 11% are higher middle school, 2.5% are high school or older. So this is very much a magazine for kids. Um, the newest issue starts Digimon Dreamers, and I have that, and I actually skimmed through to see exactly what Digimon stuff was there for our first big issue. The magazine's over 500 pages,
Oh my god.
and this is like a, I believe I for a digital purchase of the digital copy of the magazine, which doesn't come with the physical widgets, it was like $4.80. So before we get to what the Digimon content is, the ignoring market, like going over products, what does Saikyo Jump currently have? So basically, minus one or two things, it's all spin-off manga. So there's a spin-off of Demon Slayer. They have actually two Dragon Ball spin-off comics running right now, and a anime screenshot comic of Dragon Ball GT. There's a One Piece comic, two Yu-Gi-Oh comics, a spin-off of My Hero Academia, a Dragon Quest comic, a spin-off of Butt Detective, a spin-off of Butto Buster, a upcoming is a spin-off of Yogoreamon, which I think started in the same issue as Digimon, and our new Digimon manga, Digimon Dreamers, and an original manga that started a couple years ago called Muscle Soul Mukumiki Kun. So a lot. This is basically give kids something to read. It's very cheap. It's very easy for them to get. It often comes with cards, posters. Um, we talked about last time. It had the card, it had the double-sided poster. It came with stickers. Basically, a kid's getting 500 pages of stuff for $5, and it's just changed all their branding and gone back to being a monthly. So I went through the Digimon section and actually wrote down like what everything is. So is you can get the physical magazine, the digital's under $5, and at least one store has it not geo-locked. So
Oh, nice.
people can buy that if they want, if they don't want to worry about the cards and stuff. So let's see what the Digimon section is. So it starts with page 99, and you get roughly uh, 11 pages of it explaining what Digimon is, the digital world, evolution, types. Uh, there are dedicated pages to going, this is Agumon showing off his evolutions. Then Gabumon gets a page. Pulsemon gets a page. Zeromaru gets a page. Guilmon and Impmon each get pages. They have a two-page spread for the Royal Knights and Demon Lords. Just, this is this, this is that. The Ghost Game Digimon get a page and various pages, going over Ghost Game products and stuff like that. Terramon gets a half page, just, so it's not all product junk. It shows off.
You'll have to link that to me because I
Yeah.
might want to get that.
Yeah, I will link that to you after show. It shows off, the history of various games and products. What's happening now in Digimon, what's coming up. They show off V Pets. They explain, there was a movie a few years ago. They show off Adventure. There's a couple pages of showing off like the Digimon wall at the Plex offices. Plex is the company that took over for Wiz. And
Ooh.
Plex did a lot of Digimon stuff when Wiz was still around, like the Digivolving Spirits were Plex. Plex does most of the designs for Super Sentai, for example. They show off Digimon products from different countries. Remember the Bandai was really like those handheld like Polly Pocket type playsets for Power Rangers and Digimon. They show off one of
Yep,
those.
I remember those.
They show off the Terriermon one that was made for the U.S. market. They have a
I didn't
page.
remember
They
the
have a
Terriermon
page.
one. I remember there being a Vmon.
Then they have what appears to be a one-page interview where they talk to Kenji Watanabe, Goto P, Kenji Watanabe, longtime designer for anyone new, Goto P's the current card game producer, and Volcano Oda.
Damn.
Then that's just one page. Then before Dreamers, there's a page explaining who Tenya Yabuno is, showing off, he did art for Ghost Game, he did V-Tamer. Then we get 10 pages of Dreamers. And you would think that would be the end. And then you turn, you're like, oh, there's more of that interview with Watanabe, Goto P, and Oda for 3 more pages. It ends on page 144.
God
So
damn.
it starts on page 99, goes to page 144, all Digimon content for this issue. So basically 50 pages, including 10 pages of manga. So I don't expect that much, but this is it is basically just a big Digimon section of stuff for not very much money. And I'm very curious to see what will pop up next month, because I don't expect it to be that large, but it'd be nice. There'll be something there, so I'm very curious to see. So it is basically a Shonen Jump, V Jump type offshoot that is very much aimed at kids, making it worth their while to get comics to read and to also see marketing pablum. But yeah, so 50 pages isn't
Fun
bad for the
time.
first. Yeah, so really not bad. And Saikyo Jump is also where Atmon Gakuen was. So yeah, so
Yeah, I
just
never ended up seeing much of it just because, like, for the
well,
most part,
these
we're
are
used to like V-Jump.
these are so marketing adjacent that unless they run for an extended period of time or there's a reason to collect them, stuff from Saikyo Jump doesn't always get collected.
Yeah.
Um, like like remember right now there's 3 Dragon Ball comics running there, and if you look at ones that have run in the past, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there's 7 ongoing Dragon Ball comics that have ended, including one shot or prototype manga that they've shown off. Um, they've even had guest chapters or reprints of various old stuff. So yeah, it's basically V Jump but more comic centric, basically. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to seeing what else will pop up there, because it's gonna stay that price, so I may get it in the future. I'm very much considering it, especially if there's like just a subscription button I can do where it'll just show up automatically. And I will make sure you get that link, Dev, because I'm pretty much sure you will sign. I don't think you have a Bookwalker account, do you?
Not at all.
Yeah. So here's how Bookwalker works. They have a U.S. storefront. So you sign up, you make your account, and they have manga, light novels, and all that stuff. I'm not a huge fan of their image quality, to be honest. It's a bit lower than I'm used to with crazy comic and manga stores, but it's good enough. And the login works on the Japanese site. So
Ooh.
if something doesn't explicitly have to be geolocked, they just don't put it on the English storefront. So you can just go to the Japanese storefront, and in most cases, it will let you buy it, and it will add it to the app regardless of your language settings. So
Oh
you'll be
yes,
able,
I'm completely down for this.
yeah, so you'll be able to buy that and enjoy it. Uh, the next question was from Ramon. Ramon wants to know what type of chocolate candy would we feed Gamamon. His examples are Snickers, Reese's, M&Ms, and so forth.
Hmm.
I feel like you can't feed him bars; he would get sick.
Well, you could see in like the little Ghirardellis where it's like the little individually wrapped ones,
Yeah, but that'll get
like used as
expensive.
bribes.
That'll get expensive.
Yeah. Yeah, then just throw Hershey Kisses at them. That or like, I mean, it's Halloween. You can just go for like the mixed bag of different
Oh
kinds of
no, no,
chocolate.
don't remind me it's Halloween. I'll have to get candy corn. It's
I already got candy corn.
I need to. It's the best season to enjoy candy corn, especially because it seems to upset people. I like candy corn.
Surprisingly enough, the caramel apple candy corn does not taste bad. One of my
Uh,
coworkers got a bag out of morbid
I
curiosity
like
and
plain.
gave it to the rest of us.
I like plain candy corn.
Yeah. But some of the
Yeah.
other like flavors of candy corn taste like death and lies.
Oh, I've actually never tried flavored candy corn. I've only gotten the white, orange, yellow candy corn flavor. Okay,
Autumn makes it terrible.
next question. I will read it and then Dev can answer before I say anything once I read it. Are you ready, Dev?
Yes.
Ghost Game didn't rank in the TV ratings. Does that mean anything?
It means they're canceling Ghost Game.
It is effectively exactly what we said for Adventure. It only shows the top 10. There's dozens and dozens of anime. I expect Ghost Game is somewhere between 11 and 15, which is I was that the exact number that I would give generically for Adventure when we didn't see it?
Yeah, and more often than not, when we checked into it, it's like, yeah, that's actually about right.
Yeah. Um but yeah, so I expect it's about there.
Eaten by Curious George yet again.
But yeah, so I expect it's basically roughly where Adventure was. But we will never know unless it jumps into the top 10 at some point, and there will be another missing top 10 slot soon because Demon Slayer's back. So that will
Yeah.
be another slot that 100% we will never get information from because
Everyone
it,
is hard gay for Demon Slayer. It's amazing.
I watched part of season one. It came across as very general shonen action. I understand why people like it, but it doesn't feel that special. Like I understand why people like it. It's polished shonen stuff.
Also, interesting world building, at least the way the demons
Yeah,
work.
yeah,
So
that's interesting enough. Um, and then this was one of the questions where uh, it's one of those where I don't know if it's joke or real. I think it's real. So I want to know, will Ghost Game get Blu-rays? The answer is probably, but we do not know.
I mean, good chance of it. I mean, Adventure got Blu-rays rather quickly, so
Uh, I think it was delayed a bit from where we expected because the show was delayed.
oh yeah, there was the plague, but
Yeah, once the show
all
started back
things
up,
considered, we got them in a good amount of time.
yeah, and I expect they'll probably do roughly the same, which is 2 disc boxes. I'm very curious to see how the show will look with better compression, to be honest, because I feel like that's been a kind of oddity at the moment. Which is there are times when I don't know if something is purposely in effect or if the show just isn't compressed well for streaming. Like anytime I see fog, I think something's wrong with the video. At least that's what I think.
And we'll
So
probably found it in a couple months either way.
yeah. So I think we got all the questions that were in the chat, all the ones that were sent in ahead of time. Dev, would you like to tell people what you've been up to the last couple days?
I got very, very, very angry. So I started moving pages on Wikimon back to names that actually make sense.
Have you defeated the great evil Dev, the single worst name, like above any name that we might argue? You have
For
defeated.
now, because
You've
I
defeated
guarantee you someone will swap it back again soon.
the great evil known as Yaktu has been defeated. It currently shows as Yo-Yo Mon on the page
Again, for now.
for now. What other ones did you have fun swapping around, Dev? Any
I
come to
had to
mind?
put I had to put Hackmon back to Hackmon, and they changed MC Mon to Mickmon, so I had to put that back.
What? That
Yeah,
wait. How, but there's only one spelling. That's the Appmon, right? There's only one spelling of that.
yeah, because apparently they decided because Jessmon wasn't spelled with all capital letters that no other Digimon should have capital letters in its name, so they
But
went on like,
but that name doesn't work without the capital letters. Like in English, that is I. Nah. Okay, Dev.
Yeah,
What? Yeah, that name explicitly does not work without capital letters. That's the actual name.
yeah.
Dev, what Wikimon article would you like people to read this week?
Hit random page because I just don't give a fuck anymore.
I feel like you can't say that after you just spent a couple days fixing stuff, Dev.
Oh, I spent a night going on a rampage, being really,
Okay,
really
I
pissed
will
off.
I will hit random page and we'll see what we get. That's not a good enough page. Let's hit that again.
Well, I got
God,
Valdermon.
every card that's popping up, every one that's popping up is either a random card or like, oh, this could refer to this or this. It's like, no, give me an actual page that's not a card or a listing.
Huh,
It
I
just
got
said
Valdermon 2 times in a row.
it sent me to recent changes. No, I don't want a card. I don't want a card. Okay, oh, okay, here's a good one. Are you ready? Shoutmon Derulo Cannon.
Quality.
That's a quality entry. So you have to read Valdermon and Shoutmon plus Derulo Cannon. Ah, and
I remember
it,
the hell we had to go through because it would not properly display plus signs on the wiki programming, so we had to
that's
copy and paste a really weird one from a different coding.
that's funny. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, AR was busy with important things this week. Fix. We don't know if we're gonna be here next week or not. It's funny.
I mean, if
Anytime we
there's
get
no episode and no news, I mean,
well,
might as
well
well
that
just.
so here's what I believe will happen. At some point Thursday night or Friday morning, I will look at what news is there and make the call of if we're gonna have an episode without a show, if we'll have a bye week, and then whatever decision I make will be the wrong one. Because
Well,
that's
if you're wrong, then we'll just have an extra long episode the following
yeah.
Monday.
Yeah, see, that's happened before where we went, okay, there's not much news. We'll skip doing it an episode this week. And then a day later, they just start throwing stuff at us. So you guys will know within the next few days.
We'll
Dev,
figure it out the hard way.
exactly. Dev, anything else you want to talk about?
I am very tired and very angry.
So it's a normal day for you, Dev. So AAR will be back whenever we're back. We don't know if that's next week or in 2 weeks when episode 3 of Ghost Game airs. And then we will
I
catch you
want to
guys
see the
next.
bunny.
We'll catch you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.